To Gambia now, where the government says it has foiled an attempted coup. The army has arrested 4 soldiers who were allegedly plotting to overthrow President Adama Barrow's administration. The country is still reeling from more than 2 decades of excesses attributed to former President Yahya Jammeh. His exit from office was widely viewed as a boost for democracy, but there's been growing frustration with Mr. Barrow's government for its failure to address poverty and rising living costs. Coup attempts are not uncommon in the Gambia. Mr. Jammeh himself seized power in a coup in 1994, and just 3 years ago, 8 ex-soldiers were jailed for plotting to overthrow Mr. Barrow the year after he came to power. The army says 3 other alleged accomplices are being hunted in connection with this week's coup plot. Well, to look at this in more detail, I'm joined by Offei Ansah, who's an African affairs analyst and publisher of Africa Briefing. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, John. First of all, I mean, I know you're in the UK, but you've got a lot of your people in sort of across Africa, people who work with you on Africa Briefing. What are you hearing about the way things are at the moment in Banjul following that news of an attempted coup? Are the streets calm? Is there much tension?
No, there isn't any tension. We haven't had any new developments pertaining to the attempted coup. But so far as we know, we can tell from here, from the information I gather, everything is calm. People are going about their normal activities and so on and so forth. So nothing. And as you said in your report, I mean, coups are not uncommon, in that country. I mean, there have been during the Jammeh's 20-year, 2-decade rule, there were so many attempts to overthrow him. And when he was ousted, through the ballot box in 2016, I mean, everybody thought that it will usher in a new era of democracy. But even then, again, like you said in the report, there were 1 or 2 attempts against the current president, Adama Barrow. So I'm not sure, people are too unduly perturbed by the latest attempt.
Nevertheless, the alleged links to this attempted coup by members of the Presidential Guard, the military police, and so on, are quite worrying. I mean, what do we know about the current relationship between President Barrow and the armed forces?
Well, we don't know much. We don't know much about the relationship, but I would say that the relationship is okay. But look. People, when Adama Barrow came into office in 2016, the expectations were a bit high. But so far, he has not been able to address economic hardships, poverty, and so on and so forth. So there's a bit of a frustration, among the civilian population. But as far as his relationship with the forces are concerned, not much is known about his relationship with them.
Just looking at the corners of the picture, John, I mean, this attempted coup that's been foiled comes just days after former President Yahya Jammeh announced that he will return to assume power. Those were his words. Could there possibly be a link between what he said and this attempted coup? Because I understand Mr. Jammeh still commands considerable support within the army.
Yes, one could not discount any possible link, between this latest attempt and the former President Jammeh. But look, without any concrete evidence, all we can do here is to speculate about any possible links between the coup plotters and Yahya Jammeh.
And John, we've seen quite a few, I mean, you and I think, have talked about this on this program, but we've seen quite a few coups in recent months in West Africa, in places like Mali, Burkina Faso, and places like that. I mean, what has the regional body ECOWAS said about this attempted coup in the Gambia?
So far, they have not made any official statements or official reaction to the attempted coup. But what I would say is that I'm sure the ECOWAS leadership are keeping a close eye on developments in Gambia, and I think should anything untoward happen, I believe they will take the appropriate action like they've done with Guinea, Mali, and Burkina Faso.
Right. Well, just to give you an update there, I mean, there is a statement from ECOWAS condemning the attempted coup there. But just sort of, I mean, there is an interesting footnote that Gambia's security is apparently being handled by foreign forces, including the Nigerians, the Senegalese, and the Ghanaians. We know that foreign forces have been in the country since 2016. And, the president's security, I'm told, is being handled by the Senegalese. The airport is under the control of the Nigerians, and the Ghanaians are in charge of the seaport. Is that possibly what appears to be demoralizing the Gambian army?
It is possible, but it shouldn't be anything new to Gambians because Gambian has a history of employing various West Africans to top positions in the country. There was one time when the Chief Justice of the country was, I think, Ghanaian or something. So it should be nothing new. But talking about that, I'm not sure the various West African soldiers manning, sensitive positions, should necessarily be demoralizing or should worry the Gambians, considering, the size of the country, the population is about 2.5 million. And I'm not sure they have the adequate personnel, to undertake all those tasks. So the country employing or engaging or deploying the soldiers from various West African countries it's not nothing new. And like I said earlier, I mean, West Africans have manned various top positions, government positions in the country.
Okay, John, thanks ever so much. John Offei Ansah is the African Affairs Analyst and publisher of Africa Brief.